Well, hi there everybody and welcome to another edition of Friday Night Lights. As always, I'm joined in the chair by our very own punting A-team of Johnny Ward and Gavin Lynch. You can decide between you which one's B.A. Baracus. But looking forward to another cracking card, another full card, and hopefully, guys, a repetition of last week's performance as well.
Johnny was man of the match as usual last week.
Good stuff.
We had one race where we had the second and third, but we couldn't get the winner, and they were all trained by Andy Oliver, which was a bit frustrating.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3s for Andy Oliver, rare enough, I'd guess. Right, first up, it's this sprint handicap. What do you make of it?
I'm actually very sweet in the horse here, Jenny's Child. This horse, based on its only other all-weather run when it was 4 to My Good Brother, will pretty much win this race, basically. Peter Fahey's had a great year, particularly with jumpers, but I think he's 2 from 17 at Dundalk. And the one thing about this is, even though it's off a break, Colin Keane is riding it, and Colin Keane is the go-to man at the moment, so I can't imagine he's jumping on a horse and might need the run. Now, Aggression is ridden by a 10-pound claimer I don't know a great deal about, but Aggression is not a straightforward ride. Ran really well here last week. This is a weaker race, but has gone up £5 and will miss the break probably again. Nora Bass, perennial front runner, doesn't seem as effective on the all-weather. And Bambari, who won last time, this is a much tougher race, I think.
Gavin, your thoughts?
I'd agree with most of that Johnny said. I'm going to actually go for Nora Bat. I am about to follow her off the cliff at this stage, but beaten twice at Navan over 5 and 6 in heavy, and then it ran 2 days later in Dundalk there a month ago, so it's had a 28-day break. 5 furlongs is perfect, quick ground is fine, it has won a good firm. Conor Hoban has ridden as a winner before. It's drawn stalled too, so Nora Bat for me.
Yeah, I'll be with you, Jenny's Child, by the way. Johnny, right, claimer up next. It's probably not the greatest claimer we're ever going to see. Is there anything jumping out at you on ratings or anything like that?
The two that stand out in ratings is Specific Gravity and New Story. I'm going to go for Specific Gravity. It's the highest rated horse in the race, but it gets weight off 7 rivals. It's £2 well in with New Story, so Specific Gravity. It's won 6 times at the track, including 4 times this trip.
Perfect, yeah. I say, look, 4-time course and distance winner, spotted that as well. Johnny?
I quite like the claimers at Dundalk. I don't particularly like this race, so Specific Gravity is not a horse I'd have much faith in. Back to Monday at Clonmel, when it looked like all he had to do was turn up and win, and he managed to lose. I think he was actually beaten by Indian Tomahawk that day. And Indian Tomahawk, interestingly enough, has no chance at the weights. But he's
in form though.
Yeah,
he's running well.
Absolutely, and big fan of his trainer. And this is a race full of doubtful characters. I actually could see him run well. Having said that, the pin landed on New Story, not to be confused with the old stalwart New Story, who won the cross-country race at Cheltenham for Michael Horrigan back in the day. New Story for me, drawn 11 is not ideal. If he can get handy, he should win, but I wouldn't be having a bet in this race very willingly. Good
stuff, right? Clear Skies was one of the selections from last week. Yeah. Becoming a friend of the show now, are you going to give another chance of 7?
Yeah, no, I think I'll go for Clear Skies, the half sister to Motivator, as we said last week. Finally, she has learned to settle. She used to be very, very free in her races, but she's drawn 5 tomorrow. Dundalk will have to get her settled in behind rivals, but come very, very late. She idled in front again last week. She went up £7 from 72 to 79. So. Yeah,
Wayne Lorden gave her a lovely ride as well.
Lovely ride,
£7 probably harsh enough for what she got, maybe?
But I think because she idled so much that she can handle a £7 rise.
Johnny, you with Clear Skies?
I'm actually going against her. Certainly did tip her last week and thought she did it nicely, but carried as an old friend of mine. I think he's a really tough horse to pass. Again, that man, Colin Keane. This thing is drawn 2 for Prunella Dobbs. Very straightforward, hardy horse, basically. Has won off this mark, everything going for it. I can see Clear Skies coming up on the bridle and challenging it, and Carried maybe pull out a bit more. Very similar colours as well. Hopefully Carried can just hold on, but I think he'll be tough to pass. You notice in the race that Sharjah's in it, and you're worried that horses like that might take you on, but he isn't actually breaking well enough to even make the run anymore.
Good stuff, right? Filly's Maiden, there's an incredibly bred one in here for Joseph O'Brien. Unpretentious, a half-sister to Moonstone, so if she's any use, hopefully she might come out on top. But what do you make of it?
It's a terrible, terrible maiden, to be honest. I was reluctantly going to pick Hope Lake, who's rated 66, so that says enough. It ran the handicap last time, looked a winner at the furlong pole. It's dropping back down to a mile, but it's a very poor race.
Johnny?
I think Gavin's a little bit harsh. I don't think it's as bad as a race as that. Having said that, I suppose Spring Garden is rated 68 and could be will be one of the fanciest in the race. This is one of my bets of the night, Pivotal Connection, who was behind Spring Garden last time in that race, was drawn 5 on that occasion, is now drawn 13, which isn't ideal, but to be honest, in a race like this, it might make no difference whatsoever. Andy Oliver, as we said, had that 3-timer, or that 1-2-3 last week. notably, this filly last time was snatched up quite badly early on in the race, and it was behind the horse that we napped of John Murtagh's. And now Spring Garden was second, so she does have to reverse the form, but she's had far fewer runs. Chris Hayes is riding. She looked very green when I think Rory Cleary rode at that occasion. When he got after her, she drifted left and right. So if she can be a bit more straightforward with experience, I think she'll track Spring Garden and beat her. Basically, she's one of my best tonight.
Good stuff. Right, on to the nursery then. Seems to be lots of early pace in this nursery, Johnny, by the way. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I thought this was it was up there with the claimer in terms of difficulty. Hopefully Gavin might have seen something I didn't. Haunting Vocals is a vocalised filly. She won on heavy as scoring, so whether she'll translate, I'm not really sure. She's probably not badly in. She hasn't gone up that much in the weights. My pin landed on the Gordon Elliott trained horse, Smiling Eliza, who's fairly straightforward. Basically hasn't done much wrong. Nor still claiming the £3 and has been banged there in similar company. There are a few unexposed types, but I couldn't make a solid case for anything. And the least unlikely winner, I thought, was Smiling Eliza.
Good stuff, Gavin. You?
Yeah, it's a tricky race. There's 8 here that have never run a handicap before, so there's some of those that could be well in. I'm going to go for Haunting Vocals that won in Gorham Park. As Johnny said, it was heavy ground, but did very well to get across from stall 12, made all over 7, and the step up to a mile should suit. So the ground is the unknown, but if it handles the ground, Kevin Manning rides, drawn 7, it could make all and step up to trip into a mile should suit, as I said.
Good stuff. I think Paparazzi could get involved in that race, by the way. For another one of those, quite a few handicap.
Hasn't bad maiden form.
No. I'm always swung by that. You know me, Johnny.
I mean, Joseph is very strongly represented in as he is always at Dundalk and in this card as well. And that horse's run at the Curragh would definitely give it a chance. You're just kind of will it make the step up?
Yeah, absolutely right. On to the next race then, due off at 8 o'clock. What do you make of that one, Gavin?
Again, it's not the greatest 2-year-old maiden we've seen. Green Gage is okay form. Princess Yeza ran well at Fairyhouse when it was 3rd. But I'm going to go for the Gerlines first time out, Elegant Drama. They know what it's going to take to win the race because Palariva has beaten Green Gage.
Yeah, so of course, stablemate.
I'll just take a chance with Gerlines.
Yeah, Johnny?
I think this is the first time we're agreeing this week.
Okay.
Which might be worrying actually, because we were in a lot of harmony the last couple of weeks. Elegant Drama by Dandy Man, which is, I think, is related to the owners and basically was quite an expensive horse. The dam wasn't great, but actually was, I think, well related. And Gerlines, obviously, in Colin Keane, what a season they've had, not to mind the winter.
Yeah, and he's literally come back from his holidays like today as well to go and ride. So I wonder, will he actually make the 9 stones? A little question mark there. Whether
you know, you look at people in, we give out about the public sector and the private sector and the public sector, how many holidays they get and all that. These guys get no holidays at all, really.
Absolutely. I mean, if you look back, he's ridden like 15 times in the last 2 weeks and he still managed to take a 10-day holiday.
And I think when they're on holidays, they're probably on their phone to their agent, you know. So they're just amazing sports people. I think as Ruby Walsh said in RT, you know, he was kind of poo-hooing a bit about other sports, like compared to what race, you know, what jockeys do and all that, but they are amazing guys. That's as much as I can say about this race. I don't have much of an opinion on it. It's interesting, Green Gage is a tongue tie. It was 100 to 1 last time in second.
Yes, as the comments mentioned, he may have blitzed his handicap mark by
finishing
so well in his third start.
I don't really get it. Like it was a completely improved run, and now she's a tongue tie. Princess Yeza of Gavin Cromwell is definitely interesting. I'm just not sure about the mile. It's not conclusive whether it'll suit. And by process of elimination, I'm with Gerlines' horse. Right,
Apprentice Handicap, penultimate race. What do you make of it?
One of my favourite horses, Shawnee, in this one. Yeah. Rivellino will have a chance. Red Avenger was unlucky last time. That probably won't appreciate 7, probably needs a mile. So I'm going to go for Shawnee. It won 2 runs ago off the same rating as 74. David Marnane, that you tipped up twice last week, Johnny trained, so his horses are in form. It just has been way too keen early on in the last 2 races. Yeah. So if Donald O'Connor can get it to settle, there is some pace in the race, and if he can get it to settle, I think Shawnee to step down to 7 will really suit.
Yeah, Johnny?
Completely agree. And
again,
couldn't believe this horse was only beaten around. This horse was banged there about 25 yards out the last year, despite really pulling hard. You know, I think Declan McDonough possibly he either wanted to lead or get a lead, but he ended up basically just having to go on with it. And the horse, it was over a mile. He showed a great attitude. He's still well. I'm a massive fan of Donald O'Connor. I think he's a jockey that really could be top class. And he's riding for a stable in Foran in Dave Marnan, who's really been in great form the last few weeks and has had, contrary to what I said 2 weeks ago, has had a good season. I'm a big fan of Shawnee here. Definitely one of my 3 bets of the night. we tipped Red Avenger the last time it was due to run, and it was scratched, and it was one of those times when I think you got the price and then it was halved in price and then it was pulled out, which is very frustrating because you don't get anything for that. The one thing about that horse is I think he's probably better at a mile. He hasn't won over 7 in about 5 years, I think. Mr. Ormsby would come into it, but if Shawnee can get a little bit of a lead, I think he's a great chance.
Okie doke. I'm with Invincible Riker in that race, by the way. Anything in the last?
The last looks very, very tricky. Just a token selection. It's All for Love, Colin Keane. It's a full sister to Jet Setting, by the way. It's first time down in the lowest grade of handicap. Colin Keane rides, and hopefully it's been working alongside your horse, Cascavel.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was going to pop this one up as well. It's All for Luck for Robbie McNamara.
You call it It's All for Love.
It's All for Luck.
That's
sorry.
Just so
Friday
it's
Night
his frame of mind at the moment. It's All for Luck.
Beautiful.
All for Luck.
It's 3 from 3 in the last 3. I'm going with you again. Either of this horse's runs at the Curragh when behind that very reliable horse of Richard O'Brien's, who's Alan's Pride, beating a length, would win this. It's basic. This is a 0-65. It's basically 0-60. It's All for Luck has been running in better company, as Gavin says, extremely well bred. So certainly important that she wins a race. Robbie's done well. Colin Keane again, drawn 5, 6 furlongs is the trip. My only concern is she's had a few chances. She's looked over 7 sometimes. This horse was placed in a maiden at Naas, so she should be up to win the 0-60. That day it was a stiff 7 and she stayed on well. Then she didn't seem to get a mile. She's run on different ground. She's back. 6 seems her trip. So I'm a little bit worried that she might be one of these making excuses. But I can't see why she shouldn't be banged there.
And just to say, Colin Keane maybe had the choice between it and Red All Star, and he's picked this one.
Yeah, absolutely right. Time for our best bets. So are we? You can go first, Gavin.
I'd love to tip Timmy, but she's not running.
Oh no,
it doesn't seem fair.
Another fan of the show, her trainer actually, Keith Clark. Yeah, big fan of the show. Whether he knows it or not.
The nap is Clear Skies, and second and third is Haunting Vocals and Shawnee.
Good stuff, Johnny.
My nap is that Andy Oliver trained horse, if I can actually find the name of it here. Pivotal Connection. Yeah. I'll give the next best as Shawnee, and I will give my third selection as It's All for Luck. I think it really should be banged.
Yeah, I'll be It's All for Luck, Jenny's Child, and Unpretentious. Join us again next week. Hopefully we'll have a similar performance to last week.